So, I made a video a few days ago, probably, maybe less than a week ago, saying how to learn 10 times faster. This video isn't related to that at all. That was for physical skills, so if you want to learn to drive or learn a sport, you can go back and watch that video. So, how to learn 10 times faster. You can learn more than 10 times faster using that video, it's just visualization basically. But what I'm going to be telling you today is that you've been learning wrong your entire life in terms of gathering knowledge and keeping your knowledge. What you're doing probably is you're going to school, you're writing down your notes, and then what you're doing, you may be using this active recall, you're getting questions, you're answering them, and then you're looking at the answers. But what you're doing with this method is you're actually, firstly, you're wasting so much paper. You're going through all this paper. And secondly, you don't even know when you need to actually recap it. You're going through the same questions over and over again until you get them right. But even if you get them right, it's still going to take you, you're still going to forget them by the time it gets to your exam, unless you recap them again. So what you're doing is you're spending hours every day, hours every week, and you're going through all these questions and all these answers. But in reality, you don't need to spend nearly as much time. So that's the thing. So what I'm going to teach you about today is this concept called spaced recall. And this, just want to say before I tell you about the spaced recall, this is not an advertisement for an app that I've made, because it does actually do spaced recall. The app is kind of bad, I don't like it. I've made it for myself basically. It's on Google Play though, only on Android. But yeah, I'm not going to talk about that until the end, and yeah, there's no need to install that. But basically, spaced recall is when I might put a graph on the screen. So what you do is, after learning it, after class, you recap it. And you do active recall to recap it. You answer a question on it, and then you actually remember it after that. You remember it for a day or two. 2 days later, go back, answer it properly, and then if you get it right, then you should remember it for another 4 days. You get it right again, 8 days, and etc. etc. Just keeps going on. So that's just how it works. It's not a new concept I've made. It's just a scientific fact basically. We actually got taught it in my school, but how do you actually do it? How do you actually apply it? So I'm going to try and give you some tips on how you could apply it in the real world. I've just built an app that does it. So if you're on Android, you can install that app. I'll tell you about it at the end. But I'm building a website, so if you're on Apple, you can actually be able to use it in the future. But yeah, that'll take quite a while because the website's got quite a lot, which I haven't added yet. But basically, the way you can apply it without using the app is just going to be really time consuming, but not as time consuming as going through the same knowledge over and over again and doing all that. So what you're going to do is you're going to have a notes app, as I mentioned in the last video actually. Notes apps are really important. But yeah, you're going to have a notes app. You're actually going to write down the stuff which you want to, every time you answer it, you'll write down the date and then the next date which is due. So if you get it wrong, you'll write down the date which you answered it, and then you'll write down the next date which it's due, which will be tomorrow. And then if you get it right after that, you answered it a day ago, so you write down 2 days. Actually no, the first time you get it right, you'll write it tomorrow. Then that day, if you get it right, you write down 2 days in the future. And yeah, that's basically how you do it. So yeah, it's kind of time consuming. If you've got hundreds of pieces of knowledge, you could, what happens with the app or the website which is going to be built is that since it tells you when they're due, you don't have to look through all of them. So you can just go through the ones which you actually need to look at, and there might be 10 a day if you've got 500 pieces of knowledge, because it will just take over time. You're just going to get rid of the ones which you can answer really competently, are just going to disappear basically. You'll answer them once every 6 months or something, so you just don't have to think about those. So it just cuts down the amount of work. So I study 5-10 minutes a day maybe. So yeah, this isn't just an advertisement for my app, it's just a method of revision, which is why I said install a notes app. I'm just trying to share the knowledge with you, which is all I'm going to use for my studying really until near my A-level exams. I'm going to actually do some practice papers. But until then, and also with the app and website, you'll be able to do quizzes. But I think that's not as good as practice papers, because with my subjects, it's more problem solving instead of remembering the stuff. But with physics, just remembering the stuff. I'll just use the app basically, so, or the website. So yeah, that's basically it. Not an advertisement, but it is kind of an advertisement. Oh yeah, I need to tell you what the app's actually called. The app is called MindSpacer. I'll put it on screen right now. Yeah, again, if you search it on Google Play, you can get it. You don't have to get it. I can't force you, but yeah, you can just use the Notes app as well. But use this technique, because this technique is just going to save you a lot of time. It's going to save paper. It's going to save everything. It's going to save the planet. It won't actually save the planet, but like, yeah, just try out and then see how it works for you. And that's it. So goodbye, have a good day, and see you in the next video later today.